What is going on, guys? So, $8 billion to Ukraine and $8.7 billion to Israel. You know, sometimes I'm wondering, why the hell are there major wars going on all over the place, all over the world? And it's probably because they feel like they can go to war because the US is going to be there with a big old aid package just to give them. And then what do they do with that aid? Well, I can tell you that not all of it is going to actual military spending. I mean, come on. Ukraine has already been found to have been selling their weapons to other countries and taking the money and just pocketing it. These guys are getting rich off this war with our taxpayer dollars too, with American taxpayer dollars. These Israelis and Ukrainians are all getting richer. Now, for Ukraine, they were invaded by Russia, but the fact of the matter is, Ukraine was threatening to join NATO for the longest time, and in 2014 they had a US-backed coup that saw that their leader, their democratically elected leader, removed from office, and then we placed in our leader, or our guy, which is Zelensky, and then all of a sudden they start bombing the Donbass region. So Russia invaded. I mean, do I support Russia's invasion? Well, no, because people are fucking dying, and I don't ever support people dying. But the fact that we pushed them to that point is kind of our fault too. And then for Israel's a little tiny bit different, but still similar, because Israel had a bunch of rockets fired at them on October 7th, killed a bunch of people, and then Israel went into Gaza and started basically demolishing everything, which I do support Israel's right to defend themselves, but I mean, defending themselves is different than us defending them. Why the hell do we have to be the world police at the expense of our tax dollars? That's what I don't get. Why are they choosing foreign people over our people? And I honestly just think that we should stick to supporting the American people, because without supporting the American people, jobs are going to go down, the economy is going to go down, which is, it's already going down. I think Bloomberg is reporting like a recession warning. But the fact of the matter is, why the hell are we involved in all these foreign wars, man? When our economy is suffering. Our citizens are... I mean, if you look at New York City, a bunch of homeless people all over the place. I'm from California, so I go to LA every now and then. I see a bunch of tents all over the place. Why aren't we sending these $8 billion that we're sending to Ukraine and $8.7 billion to Israel or whatever? Why aren't we sending that, or using that, spending that on our issues, on our homeless populations, and on creating jobs like fixing the pipes in Flint? Why can't we use that money for us, for our citizens? I mean, we're the ones who pay the taxes. Those taxes should go right back to us. But the fact of the matter is, we're sending all that money overseas to Ukraine and Israel, to countries that 90% of Americans never even been to. A lot of these people don't even know that these countries exist, and we're still over here supporting them. It's ridiculous to me. But we just got word too that this morning, New York City Mayor Eric Adams has just been charged with bribery and wire fraud. And it kind of sounds like they're trying to get him because supposedly for the past couple months he's been talking to some right-wing, some big right-wing people, And he's been speaking out against the illegal immigration that's been going on in New York. And all of a sudden, they're digging up shit from him from like 10 years ago. But the fact that he's been speaking out against this stuff and then all of a sudden he gets charged, that's pretty suspicious. And it just goes to show you that there is no actual justice system that's working right now. The thing that's going on is they're politically persecuting people. And if you speak out against what's going on, like the illegal immigration or the wars or the funding of these wars, then they're gonna find something on you and they're gonna charge you. So perhaps this is why so many people, so many big prominent leaders or mayors or governors, it could explain why they're all Democrats. And it's because, I mean, okay, if you go back to, this might sound unrelated, but if you go back to P. Diddy, right? P. Diddy was basically controlling the entire music industry by blackmailing people, inviting them to these Diddy parties and then recording them and then saying, hey, if you don't do what I want, this is going to go up on the internet, or I'm going to show this to your whole family. That's how they get these people in line. And I mean, Epstein's list hasn't been released or anything, and probably never will. But I can guarantee you that most, if not almost like 99% of these politicians are being blackmailed in some way, shape, or form, have been to Epstein's Island, or are interacting or have interacted with someone like Epstein in the past, and now they have to be Democrats and they have to support illegal immigration and all this bullshit that our government is doing, because if they don't, then they're going to release some damning information about them. So this story about Eric Adams kind of reminded me of something like that, because maybe he was a Democrat for a while because of some blackmail. And it makes sense, because now that he spoke out against illegal immigration, all of a sudden he's being charged with some crimes. He says they're lies. I don't know. If you look up Ashley St. Clair on Twitter or on X, she kind of explains this a little bit. But yeah, she basically said what I said earlier, that he's been talking to right-wing people for a couple months, and he's been speaking out against illegal immigration. So I don't know, man. It's just really crazy out here. I have a feeling that if you're a politician and you don't support funding Ukraine or funding Israel, they're gonna come after you. I mean, why do you think they're targeting Trump? Even though Trump supports Israel, I believe, I don't really agree with that, because we shouldn't be funding any other country, not even Israel. But he's speaking out against Ukraine. He says he's going to have the war ended by the time he's president-elect. So yeah, they're trying to kill him for that. Because if you end these wars, then you end the system that brings all these billions of dollars into these billionaires' pockets. And they're pretty much just consolidating all of this money, all this power. And these wars, all they do is they hurt us, because, I mean, us young men are going to end up getting drafted. We're going to end up dying. And then all that money that's been funneled into the military-industrial complex, all of that money goes to the top people. So they're consolidating power this way. And it's just time for us to vote in people who are going to stop these wars. Like I said, Trump kind of supports Israel, whatever, but so far he's the best we got, because he's going to at least end one of the wars, which is Ukraine. And then from there, we could possibly vote in someone else who's better, who's going to end all these wars. But so far, I think Trump is our best option right now, because it kind of sounds like once he's in office, he might try to end all these wars. But Israel's probably a different story. They're way more entangled with Israel. But anyways, those are the stories that I got for today. 8 billion to Ukraine and 8.7 to Israel. That's so crazy. Right after Bloomberg has been announcing that recession that I just talked about. It's like, why isn't this money coming to us? Like, why aren't you guys asking these questions? You guys are just out there. Well, not you guys. You guys that are looking up this news on YouTube are some of the smarter ones because you actually care about what's going on. But by you, I mean the average American person doesn't care about anything except for just going out there and partying and clubbing, and while all this bullshit's going down in the background. These guys gotta wake up, man. Because if they just keep not giving a fuck, they're eventually gonna be forced to give a fuck. But yeah, those are the news stories I got for you today. Adams indicted. 8 billion to Ukraine, 8.7 to Israel. That's what our leaders are up to today. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, see you guys on the next one. You guys take care. Peace out.